Beans. So today we are going to be talking about age restrictions in Animal Jam, how they work, why they're there, and why you really should kind of dispel the myths about them. As the title says, in my opinion, you cannot be too old for Animal Jam, and hopefully after watching this video you understand why that's not really an opinion and it's just kind of a fact. First of all, there's the classic argument of, as long as you're having fun, the game is for you. And yes, this is entirely true. If you are having fun playing the game, then there's no reason that an age restriction should restrict you from having fun. These age restrictions are simply estimates of when you are going to lose interest in the game. I believe the recommendation for the ages on Animal Jam is something around 6 to 11. The number 11 is just an estimate. It's when the average player loses interest in the game. And if you're still enjoying it, then, well, you're not the average player. There's got to be somebody to bring those averages up to 11 in the first place. It's not like everyone who quits is exactly 11. So again, you're not too old. You're just older than the game anticipated that you would be to have fun. But again, you're having fun, and that's all that matters. And if you can have as much fun as an 8-year-old at the age of 14, then go ahead and have that much fun. Doesn't matter what the medium is. One thing I'd also like to talk about is the fact that a lot of the times the kids who are criticizing people for playing Animal Jam despite their age are the people who are actually ignoring age restrictions in the opposite end of the spectrum. People who are playing Call of Duty at 11 are far more off the age suggestion for that game than people who are 16 and playing Animal Jam, because if you're 11 playing a mature rated game, I would argue that that's more detrimental to do it in the opposite way. I mean, if you think about it, say you go to see a movie and you are a 9-year-old kid and you want to go see an R-rated movie, but you can't. By law, you have to be 18 or have a parent with you. This is simply to protect you because you shouldn't be doing things that are out of your age range if the age range is above where you are. But if a 60-year-old man wants to go watch Finding Dory by himself, go ahead, there's no age restriction, sure, that's not the target audience, but if he's enjoying it, then there's absolutely no problem. Now, this whole time I've kind of been talking about how there's no reason not to play Animal Jam when you're older. But there is actually some value to having older kids in the game, because older kids bring a level of maturity and professional content to the game. If we didn't have people like Wisteria Moon and Snowy Claw playing, who are amazing editors who are almost in college, then we would lose so much from our community. I mean, Snowy Claw runs the best blog, hands down, on Animal Jam, and Wisteria Moon has one of the best YouTube channels. But if you were to tell them that they can't play the game just because they're too old, well, I hate to say it, but I was 12 once too, and leaving a YouTube channel to a 12-year-old is not going to get you something super professional. And it's important that younger kids have YouTube channels so they can grow as they age, but there's also that level of importance because you need professional, high-quality videos, and you need people who can be mature and who can contribute to the community. And when I say contribute to the community, I don't just mean famous jammers. Just regular, everyday people can contribute to the community just as well. Just adding that level of maturity to the game is just so important. You know, when everyone around you is screaming, auto, 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 and you are the one guy who sits in the back and thinks, hi Julian, I like your videos, then yeah, people see that and they start to learn what the importance of maturity is, because they'll see that you're the one getting a buddy request and they're not. You serve as a positive role model for the people around you, and you can kind of correct some of the immature actions that go on around you. Also, that kind of middle age where people should be growing out of Animal Jam but often aren't is very important, because Animal Jam is run by old people. Not old people, but adults. And so these adults, you know, they have a lot of really good ideas, but unfortunately, adults aren't kids. Adults don't know exactly what kids want. And yeah, they can try their best, but you know, adults aren't kids. They may not be able to understand completely what the average 10-year-old girl is looking for in a game. However, someone who is 16 and was 10 a couple years ago can totally know what an average 10-year-old girl is looking for. They know what these things are, and they have a level of experience where they're not going to recommend things that are ridiculous, like, again, the average 10-year-old girl might. I mean, it can be difficult to understand why some things can't be implemented. For example, a lot of people always say, why can't we just release all the rares in stores so that everyone can have everything? But I think because of that level of maturity that older players have brought to the game, we've all kind of come to this understanding that rares are a very important aspect of the game. Whether you enjoy them or not, they add a new level of depth to the game that really is unparalleled. If we hadn't had older players to step in and explain to the younger players how this whole releasing rares in stores thing works, we may not have had rares if we hadn't had the other side of the input going in as well. Finally, what I want to talk about is things like VidCon and internships at Animal Jam HQ and visiting the headquarters, things like that are just so important to immersing the community into the game itself. Unfortunately, these things wouldn't be possible if the community was made up of the average player base. You need those older people in order to act as leaders and role models for the community and to go on these fun trips in place of the people who will be that age in a few years. If everyone followed the exact age restrictions of the game, we wouldn't really get these fun VidCon trips because the average 10-year-old girl is not flying out by herself to California. However, if you are a senior in high school, yeah, go ahead. Enjoy your time in California with the game that you've put so much time into. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I hope I don't just sound like I'm saying this because I got called out for being too old for Animal Jam, but in actuality, I have had a very pleasant experience in the last couple of years with people understanding that you really can't be too old for Animal Jam. You can't be too old for any game. You're never really too old for anything as long as you're enjoying it. Recently, people have been very, very good about understanding the importance of older players and not criticizing them just because of their age, which is something completely out of their control. And so, that's just me saying, hey guys, it's not like I'm making this video personally. I'm just telling you, if you feel like you have to quit Animal Jam just because of age, that's not the right thing to do. If you're enjoying it, then you should play it. And if you do feel like, yeah, I'm getting older and I'm not interested anymore, then you know what? I get that. There's a reason that these numbers exist, because they are suggestions, they're the averages, and so the very definition of average says that you are probably going to lose interest at that time. So if you do happen to lose interest at that time, then that is okay, but you shouldn't lose interest because you feel like you should because of a number on a game. You should lose interest for your own personal reasons, but don't feel like what other people are saying should affect your fun. And so, those are my thoughts on this topic. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you all learned something, and I hope we can move the community even farther in this direction and just completely eradicate this idea of age barriers. Thanks for watching.